Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Amma ba'da, habati fillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As'al Allah kareem Rabbil arshil azim an yatawallana fi dunya wal akhirah. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the mighty and majestic, grants us guidance, iman, Islam, wa taqwa, and may Allah tabarak wa ta'ala rectify all of our conditions and affairs. Ahabati fillah, I just wanted to reflect on who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. And in so many ayat, Allah Azza wa Jal talks about His divine names and attributes. And from those, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Hashr, قال سبحانه هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر سبحان الله عما يشركون. Allah Azza wa Jal says في كتابه المبين, He is Allah besides whom there is no God worthy of worship except Him, the King, the Holy, the one free from all defects, the giver of security, the watcher over His creatures, the Almighty, the Compeller, the Supreme. Glory be to Allah. High is He above all that they associate as partners with Him. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Verily to Allah belongs 99 names, 100 less one. Whoever enumerates them will enter paradise. Ruwahu Muslim. Allah, as a name, subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah ta'ala, he explains, the name Allah indicates all of the perfect names and lofty attributes in all three ways of indication, since it indicates His divinity, which indicates affirmation of all the characteristics of divinity for Him, along with negation of their opposites for Him. The attributes of divinity are the attributes of perfection, being free from any likeness with the creation and free of any deficiency or imperfection. As for the particular virtues of the meaning of this name, Allah, then in this regard, the most knowledgeable of the creation, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, I could not praise you enough as you deserve. You are as you have praised yourself. Ruwahu Muslim. Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah ta'ala also said, so how could we enumerate the special virtue of the name of the one who comprises every perfection, unrestrictedly, and every praise and commendation, and every laudation and exaltation, and all splendor, and all perfection, and all glory, and all beauty, and all good, and all eminence, and all generosity, excellence and goodness is for Him, and is from Him. So this name Allah is not mentioned upon a small amount of anything, except that it causes it to increase. It is not mentioned in a state of fear, except that it removes it. Nor is it mentioned upon any misfortune, except that it relieves it. Nor in any state of anxiety and distress, except that it brings relief. Nor upon any state of difficulty, except that it brings ease to it. None who is weak resorts to it, except that it brings strength to him. Nor anyone in a state of humiliation, except that it brings honor to him, nor anyone in poverty, except that he is enriched, nor anyone who feels estranged and uneasy, except that it causes him to feel at ease. It is not mentioned by one who has been overcome, except that it brings aid and victory for him, nor by one who is in straitened circumstances, except that his difficulty is removed. It is not mentioned by a fugitive, except that he finds refuge. So it is the name through which distress is removed, through which the descent of blessings is sought, through which supplications are answered, through its slips are corrected, sins are warded away, and good deeds are brought closer. Allahu Akbar. So it is the name through which distress is removed, through which the descent of blessings is sought, through which supplications are answered, through its slips are corrected, sins are warded away, and good deeds are brought closer. It is the name with which the earth and heavens were established, with which the revealed books were sent down, and with which the messengers were sent. With it, the legislated laws were prescribed, and through it, the prescribed punishments were established. Through this name, the creation will become divided into the fortunate and the wretched. With it, the true tremendous day is established, and with it, the scales of justice are set up, the bridge laid down, and the paradise and the hellfire established. With it, the Lord of all creation is worshipped and praised, for it's the right of messengers were sent, and it will be asked about in the grave, and for it will be the resurrection. Dispute is regarding it, and judgment is to it, and alliance and enmity are for it. Through it, those who know it and establish its rights will be the fortunate ones. And through it, those who are ignorant of it and leave its rights are wretched ones. So it is the reason for the creation and command, and through it, they are established and confirmed, and to it, they arrive at a conclusion. So the creation comes about through it, returns to it, and exists because of it. So there is nothing in the creation and no command, no reward, no punishment, except that it starts from it and ends with it. That is what brings it about and its reason. And then Ibn al-Qayyim, he quotes the ayat where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, which means, O Lord, you have not created all of this without purpose. Free and far removed are you from that. So save us from the punishment of the fire. And we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, في كتابه الكريم وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونِ. I have not created mankind and the jinn except for worshiping me. And we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says في كتابه العزيز وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. And your Lord has decreed for you to worship none other than Him alone, and to the parents be righteous. And we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, في كتابه المبين الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم نزل عليك الكتاب بالحق مصدقا لما بين يديه وأنزل التوراة والإنجيل. Allah also says في كتابه الكريم الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم. Allah, there is no God worthy of worship, Al-Hayy Al-Qayyum, except Him. Al-Hayy, the ever-living, Al-Qayyum, the everlasting who all creatures need. So all of this is to say that there is no God worthy of worship except Allah, and we direct all of our worship to Him. We seek His refuge. We seek sustenance from Him. We seek guidance from Him. We seek forgiveness from Him. We seek protection from Him. And we find all of that in this divine name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah, which is the greatest, and all the other names return to in meaning. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam.